And good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Underdog Racing League. We are here for 120 laps at Dover International Speedway. And as usual, the Underdog Racing League is brought to you by Ultimate Siding and Gutters LLC. Our customers say we're the best in the business. We specialize in residential and commercial construction. We have been in the business for over 15 years and only use the best materials. We are dedicated to completing each project in a timely manner, and there's nothing more important than having a house to call home. Ultimate Siding and Gutter. I am Carl Pooler. Joining me in the booth is Billy Martin, and of course, our producer, Robert A. Moyer. Billy, welcome. Here we are at Dover, a concrete racetrack 1 mile long, really high banks. I'm looking forward to tonight.
24 degrees of banking in the turns, 9 degrees along the straights here tonight. Also, Dover is a quite little interesting track. And the reason why I say that is because it's a casino, it's a horse track, and tonight the mechanical horses go on the field as 750 horsepower tonight. It's going to be a great time here at Dover.
Dover always ends up being a great race. Miles the Monster is always hungry and looking to tear up some of these cars. Not to be, foreshadowed, but this is one of the rarities in the NASCAR circuit. We have, like I said, concrete all around. They love to eat the tires up. The fuel will last, but the tires will not. So I think tires and tire saving, Billy, will be the best strategy for all these drivers in the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially when you're starting tonight, you want to make sure that you're keeping your tires warm. You want to stay off the apron because, man, those corner turns, you hit that apron, you're spinning 360.
And that makes it very interesting how the drivers will attack the track because, especially early on in the run, there's going to be grip, there's going to be rubber on the inside. As the tires tend to wear and kind of break in the track, that line will tend to move up. You got to be careful. That concrete will be fresh, and that will wear the tires a little bit more until that line comes in. So it's going to be a chess match for all these drivers, making sure they save the tires to the end of the run.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially trying to, be patient because it is kind of a short track as well. So, it's going to be hard to pass here. You want to probably pass on the back stretch, coming out of two there and making your pass there. So it's going to be a tough night for passing tonight.
And passing is usually tough. We've seen throughout the season a lot of these guys beating and banging on the doors, and it's just so fun to see. But I think the slide job, we're going to say that more than once tonight, definitely, because of how you're going to be able to pass in the just corner entry, corner exit. We're going to see a lot of dicing, weaving, bobbing just for that position and trying to find that fast racing line as we watch the 38 of Catrone spin out to end practice. But with the end of practice, we will go right to qualifying. So this is a 5-minute qualify session. These guys are going to try and put down the fastest 2 laps that they can and make sure they start up at the front of the field.
Yeah, you definitely key position is being up front, right? So you definitely want to qualify good. You don't want to start from the back because that's just going to bring you a whole bunch of trouble. But we'll see what we could do as we watch Catone here take the track and start his qualifying run here. And this should be very interesting to see him get going here.
And definitely, Billy, you mentioned it, track position. We have seen these last couple of weeks, a lot of our heavy hitters and, really championship hopefuls get caught up in messes after some botched pit stops or some varied strategies. So these guys are definitely going to be wanting that track position. But as we're already watching the 38 of James Catrone. He's using that middle line. He's not getting down on the bottom. I think this is a sign of things to come and what we're going to see in the race and during race trim.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you want to stay a little bit above that low line because you're tempted to hit that underneath that white line, and that's where you're going to get loose and your car is going to lose control. So This track, very tough coming off of turn two, too, because it slings you right up against the wall. So, different ways of operating this track, especially between turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
And it does look, the track, if you look at it, can, hold 3 drivers, but this track is actually really, really narrow and kind of slick. And like you mentioned, Billy, coming at it too, you got to be careful. If you don't bounce off one wall, you don't want to bounce off the inside wall either. And one mistake can cause half the field to either wreck out or have damage because you can get really congested really quick.
The other thing too about this Dover track is the coming off of pit road. It's really short. So, other tracks you have that long, long, you have a long time to get up the track. Where here, you're right out of you turn that two, you're turning that track and you're going good right now. So, yeah, so that's a big problem for sure.
Track awareness is going to be critical on pit exits. Definitely important. You don't want to get caught up in someone else's problems or mistakes or cause one yourself. And as we're watching the 5 of Jason Fensler, he's the one to keep an eye on tonight. He's been doing okay, not doing too bad. He's right now 3rd in the points. He's about 38 points back of Mark Whitley, our leader, but he's only 1 point out of 2nd place of Cedric Connor. So he is going to be one of those cars we're going to have to watch tonight, looking for stage points, the pole win, and possibly a race win.
Yeah, he's got 2 wins on the season so far. Had a little troubles in the past couple of races, but you're keeping up there, and I think he's going to be a good one to watch here tonight. As the 56 car just made his qualifying, James Loveland, he hit the wall there and had a little struggle there, but able to put down a pretty quick qualifying lap.
Another driver to keep an eye on is that 56 of James Loveland. Last year when we raced here, he dominated. He seemed to have the long run speed. He was able to save the tires and just kind of ran away with it last season. He's there in 7th position. He's about 115 points out of the lead, but there's a lot of racing, 2 stages here. So just another one of those drivers. It looks like he has that 5th starting position at the moment. It's going to be interesting seeing him march through the field.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's another guy who, rebounded last week as well. So his race last week was better than, what he started to. So I think good wishes for him as, when you come to one of the tracks that you could, call your own, things are going to be a lot better for him, especially here tonight.
And another interesting, we're looking at Ian Baker. Past couple weeks, he has kind of shown up at the end. We've been talking and saying his name a lot there in 4th. In the point standing, he's not that far off. He's actually in 6th, 1 in front of James Loveland. So a lot of these guys fighting for points, fighting for wins, and just really wanting that, already thinking about the playoffs and wanted that spot early on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially, he moved up 3 points from last week. So, that's good positives for him, and hopefully he could gain some more positions here tonight.
And as we are discussing this, the qualifying session will end and the cars will grid up. So here we are. These cars are going to get side by side. They are really loose. We keep bringing up this package. It's low aero, high power. Low downforce, high power. These cars are really a driver's car. Really puts the ability of the driver on display. And as these guys start side by side on this green flag, it's going to get really interesting because on these cold tires on this concrete track, we are going to see some wiggling and fishtailing. So as we go to the results here of qualifying, Jason Fensler on the pole, Mark Whitley in 2nd, and Cedric Connor in 3rd. The big 3, as it were, of the Underdog Racing League. Ian Baker in 4th, and then James Loveland wrapping out the top 5. Nick Alves squeaking in at 6th. James Trone, we've talked with him and talked about him, in 7th. Brad Ringer in 8th. Dylan Walterman in 9th, and Christopher Heiss rounding out the top 10.
In 11th, it's Grant Thornton. 12th, it's going to be Kevin Orlando. 13th, Blake Cook. 14th, Eddie Wildermuth. 15th, it's going to be Cordy Dorser. Dorsey, sorry. And then we had the 15th there of Robert Rager. 17th is going to be Scott Kingberg. And then 17th is going to be John Manager. And then Parker Johnson driving 19th.
Charles Cruz, I don't think we've mentioned him recently. He's in 20th. Peyton Presley in the 11 machine at 21st. Trevor Earhart, last year's champion, mired all the way down there in 22nd. Not what he wanted to see tonight as he's trying to make his way forward. Jacob Sirkovich in 23rd, and then wrapping out the field is Sean Huffstetler in that 24th position. So a little bit of a shakeup. Interesting to see Trevor Earhart down there. He had actually a penalty at the Roval last week of 10 points. So he is really trying to kind of climb back up, being only 100 points out. That's in 4th position. So really, being 100 points out in 4th position, you really need to keep a clean car. And starting at the back of Dover is not what you want to see to start your night.
No, definitely not, especially here as we focused on what we focused on here tonight. So you definitely don't want to start from the back row. So it's going to be a tough night for him, but you're a race driver. You got to do what you got to do and get yourself up there.
It'll be interesting to see as well because they are handing out penalties. We're going to take a little bit longer on these warm-ups. Penalties, like I mentioned, from the Roval last week. A couple of guys exceeding the incident penalties, running through the chicane a couple times. So as these guys get sorted out, Billy, what can we expect in terms of this track? It looks really sunny, really warm, but we have seen cars in practice be really loose and have trouble keeping control. I'm really interested to see how these guys develop as the track develops and warms up.
Lit conditions, hot, and just your car is going to be slippery. So cold tires is going to be a problem when we get the start here. So it's going to be really interesting to see what these drivers could do to keep it on the track. And like I said, you want to keep off that white line in the blow in the corners and watch that turn 2 when you come up high. So it's going to be quite interesting if we could get a nice clean race here tonight.
Definitely interesting, but it looks like we have got the field somewhat sorted out. Pace car lights are out, so we do appear to be going green. So these guys, interesting as it were, some guys really powerful heading to the back, and then other guys getting to move forward who kind of kept it clean last week. But as we go into turn 3, the pace truck will be looking to make the hard left onto pit road, and Barney will have the green flag out and ready to go. There goes the pace truck. They are side by side, 2 by 2 coming out of 4. They're going to wait until that green flag waves at the very, very last moment, and here we go with the green flag waving. Jason Fencer getting off to a start, but not what we're used to seeing. Mark Whitley right there trying to pinch him down into the quarter panel, going into 1, already coming at it 2. Mark Whitley already starting to lose a spot, maybe to the 13 of Cedric Renner. Here we go. Holds him off, but going into 3, single file for the top 5s so far.
Racing action in the back there as you see 4 or 5 guys in the second pile there as they're racing side-by-side racing, and looks like they're trying to keep up pace with the race traffic. There you go. You look at the number 8 car, Ian Baker right there, rock and rolling, but you got the top 4 running around this track, and things are starting to heat up pretty quickly.
And already the top 5 are breaking out. We see the 99 of Dylan Walterman there. I am butchering that. Sorry. But here we go. These guys are trying to race to lap 30. That is the end of stage 1. And then stage 2 will end at lap 70. These guys already vying for points. We've kind of hit on points already. But man, that top 5 really broke away really quickly. The 3rd lap of this race with breaking away from the 99 and the 21. This will really kind of maybe differentiate as we see the 21 trying to make an inside move on the 99.
Yep, and he finishes that move coming into turn 2. Christopher Heinz right there, the 21 machine, gets his moving on up through the field, and yeah, it looks like he's going to break away with a little about a car length of lead between him and the 8 machine of Ian Baker.
And that just kind of goes to prove you got to be so precise at this track. Looks like Dylan Walterman kind of messed up that corner entry and just let 21 of Christopher Heights by. So this is going to be interesting to see how this develops. But here's the 77 of Grant Thorpe and the 76 of Brad Ringer. Brad Ringer, we have kept talking about these past couple of races. He's kind of come into his own, breaks into the top 10, the top 5, really having solid performances, especially these last couple of weeks. Look for him to kind of make his way forward at the end of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this guy has been coming on lately. Maybe starting to figure it out. Maybe doing some a little more practice as we look at the 24 machine there. Nick Alf says, he's been running around pretty good. Now we're taking a look at the 53 car and the 77 doing battle with the 26 as well. So the 26, Eddie, trying to get in there and see what he can do.
And there is the 56 of James Loveland. The 77 of Grant Thorpe has lost a ton of spots in this last half a lap or so. So he is really, really struggling with that car already. And already maybe Miles the Monster trying to take an appetizer out of the side of that car. As we see, he has a little bit of damage, but as he comes down, almost comes down on the 25 of Trevor Earhart, and he is just dropping like a rock as the 4 of Blake Cook looks to make a pass on the 77.
Yeah, and absolutely. You know what, Carl? You know what I just figured out? Nobody talks about, you talk about the Darlington stripe. How about the Dover, stripe? You could hit that wall pretty good and then, keep going. So it looks like that's what the 77 did right there.
Definitely the Dover stripe may be a thing we may have to talk about, because we mentioned it in practice. We saw it in practice. A lot of these guys getting really loose, like we saw the number 4 Blake Cook there as we ride along with the 77. Ooh, and there's the 84 of Cody Dorsey. He was up there a little bit and looks like he has maybe had some issues, but really pinching down the 77 on corner exits. So we are going to have to watch that, because a lot of these guys are racing different lines, and it really takes a little bit of familiarity to know who you're racing against and what line they're going into. Some people like to enter the corner a little late, do a late apex, while other people like to enter it early and really power up and really get next to that outside wall. So we're going to have to really keep an eye on that throughout the race.
Yeah, absolutely, Carl. I mean, when you take a look at this, they're going high, they're going low, like you said, like you mentioned. So these guys are running different lines here at Dover, and so far, here we are. We're 13 laps in, and so far it's been pretty clean racing right now. So far.
So far, here we are, our first caution for an incident. That's interesting. Fuel isn't going to be too big of an issue. I'm hearing from our race and pit analysis, Zach Hall, there, that they have about 35 laps or so of fuel per run. So not going to be a huge issue. Maybe in the third stage we could have something. But as we look back, our freaky fast instant replay and see what kind of went south here. And there we are. We're talking about the 84, Cody Dorsey. Looks like he just didn't have the space like he thought he was. There's the 09 getting up there into the wall, pinballing really the 84 between a couple of cars. So already this really narrow racetrack, Miles the Monster devouring another one today.
Yeah, they sure did. They devoured that car pretty well. So that's what happens there. You try to go 3 wide, and then somebody gets loose and hits the wall, and then chaos comes down. And wow, just a tough day, and that brings you to what the ultimate side gutters there, as we have our first caution here tonight at Dover Motor Speedway.
And if you all are watching at home, that 09 seems to be a new car. His name is Charles Cruz, just kind of getting caught up into there. So not a great start for that driver in car at the moment, but enough time, enough race to go. He can recover and continue his march to the front.
Yeah, definitely. When you're new to the race team, now you got to figure out how these guys are going to drive around you. So I guess he got a little bit of the experience here at Dover here tonight as how they're going to drive. So you got to be patient and continue. If you get into an incident, what do? Right? You just come down, you fix it, and then you try harder to gain that position that you had before.
and definitely want to try. We're about halfway through our first stage. We're going to see if there's any takers on pit road. If there were, they'd be for tires, but it's really, really early for tires. You really don't even know what your tires can do. So looks like a lot of people are just staying on the track and looking to ride out this first stage.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, these guys are going to have to, put it together. Get your. I don't know if they really got any fuel there. I think it was just tires only. You want to have fresh tires as much as you can.
And this will be interesting. The first three cars of Fensler, Whitley, and Hunt, they all kind of broke away from the fourth and fifth place cars, in which in turn broke away from the rest of the field. So having another restart, having another chance for these guys to get bunched up and make passes, it's going to be really interesting. So far, really, the first four have stayed where they qualified. The only difference in the top five is James Catrone in that 38. He's come from 7th to 5th. We have Christopher Heights in the 21, 10th to 6th. So already some drivers making their move early on in the race.
Making a move, and that's what you need to do as you go forward here tonight. Try to get the best points you can. It's a short track tonight, so um, you know this is for some drivers it could be a headache.
And it's interesting you mentioned that. It is a short track, a mile in length, but in my opinion, it doesn't race like a short track. It kind of reminds me almost a little bit of Richmond. You got to bump and weave and kind of dive down to get your spot. This track race so much differently than, say, Bristol or Martinsville or anything like that. That's just what makes this track unique. And as a driver, from what I understand, talking to some of the drivers in the Discord, they either love it or they hate it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is a love-hate relationship track for sure. So it's going to be very interesting, and it's a demanding racetrack as well. So a lot of heart, lot of things that need to be made, and you have to make decisions here really quickly too.
And definitely a really demanding, mentally demanding, but also physically. This isn't the smoothest track, especially in the corners. And as you're going through the corner, you're just thinking, oh, it's going to end and it's going to end, but it doesn't. These corners just keep going. But as we see right now, we're following, the lights on the pace truck are out, and we are about to go green again at lap 16. So here we go. We're going to start lap 17. Remember, the stage end is at lap 30. So these guys are going to have about a 13-12 lap sprint to the finish. And as I'm talking, there goes the pace truck, and these guys coming out of 4. Barney again with the green flag. It takes a little bit of time for them to hit that restart zone, but off they go. Jason Fensler with a much better start than last time. And then, as we are talking, we have spin already at the start finish, and that looks like the 25 of Trevor Earhart. That's going to be heartbreak for him, as we were talking about it earlier.
Yeah, heartbreaking indeed. Maybe not so patient there. They were trying to gain some spots, and here comes the freaky fast replay.
And as we pull it up, man, here we are. There's that 77 Grant Thorpe. He was having some issues. Looks like someone was trying to go outside, jump the restart, and that is, getting into Blake Cook, and that is the 09 machine, it looks like, and just caused a chain reaction to do that. That is a really bizarre restart there, because it's most of the time you're really not allowed to even get out of your lane until the start finish line. So we're gonna have to see how that shakes out. Already taking out our previous year's champion.
Yeah, and that's where race control is going to come in and take a look at that replay and see if there's any penalties that need to be given there for jumping the restart there, because you're not supposed to be passing or do anything until you cross that start finish line. So that could be a major penalty.
That could be a penalty. We'll have to see. But as we go under our second caution for incident tonight, I want to give out to one of our sponsors, ButtKicker. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail from subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10 powered race car, from ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. They move a physical mass instead of air like a speaker, and so it's so much better haptic feedback. The Gamer 2 provides an instant, accurate, powerful bass response, and it's perfectly in sync with every game and no additional software required. I love mine. I cannot do anything without it anymore. So don't be afraid to go look them up and use the code FreakyFast20 at checkout for 20% off your entire order. So here we are, Billy. We have two cautions in the first stage already. Some incidents with drivers, and it looks like the 09 has been involved with both of them. So this could be interesting, seeing how he races the rest of the field the rest of the night.
Yeah, it should be very interesting to see what the 9 car could do to rebound from this. It happens. Rookie driver, rookie mistakes, and sometimes the jitters get you. You're nervous because you're racing against pretty great drivers here in this underdog league with ultimate Sutters gutters here. But yeah, I mean, it might just be nerves.
And it could be nerves, but interesting. Before that caution came out, Ian Baker made a pass on Cedric Hunter for third. So Cedric Hunter kind of starting outside of his comfort zone, out of the top three for the first time this evening. Christopher Heights, we were talking about him. He's moved up to fourth, it looks like. I'm sorry, fifth there, which is huge. Robert Rader from 16th to 10th in that final spot for points at the stage. And so a lot of these guys doing what they need to do, taking care of their equipment and making moves to ensure some points at the end of the stage.
Absolutely, especially with 10 to go here, and then we're going to have another caution here for the first stage. So things are going to get a little racy, and I think it's going to bring fireworks here for the next 10 laps.
And if it wasn't a sprint before, it is now, because when we go green, we're gonna only have 8, maybe 7 laps of green flag racing, and these guys want those points to really know how valuable they are. Mark Whitley obviously dominating. He's 37 points ahead of the second place driver, but as Trevor Earhart and Jason Fensler know, that gap can really be erased in an instant. So all points matter, and none of these guys are letting off anytime soon.
No, you don't want to let off soon. You want to keep continuing. Your main focus is to gain the most points you can and get that championship towards the end. And the 13 car looks pretty sharp tonight in this new paint scheme.
And definitely, it's good to see some of these guys change it up a little bit, as long as they don't change the number too much. But really refreshing to see some of these guys swap it out a little bit and have some fun with it. And that is a really, really bright paint scheme for the 13 today.
Yeah, it's looking pretty sharp still. That guy's a sharp guy. So new paint scheme, sharp guy. See if we could get the dub tonight here at Dover.
And as we are talking again, they are side by side getting ready and racked up for another restart. The pace truck again looking to make another hard left turn onto pit road here in turn 4. These guys really kind of jittery to start the beginning of this race, and again, this track doesn't have a lot of space as we have witnessed, but here we go. Jason Fensler with the launch out of 4, green flag in the air. He gets up in front of the 6 of Mark Whitley with the 8. Ian Baker to the inside, going into 1 and coming out of 2, side by side with the 6 of Mark Whitley.
And they're moving back towards the back stretch. Fensler with the lead. Whitney is down there. He's in second. And now we got a side-by-side battle for the 8 as Ian Baker comes in here tonight. He's looking to try to gain the second spot, but then he's got Cedric Hunter on the outside going into 3.
And that is such a precarious situation. You see the 13 of Cedric Hunter really get high up in there in that corner. Kind of maybe lost a little bit of time, but he just used that momentum on corner exit to really, really get right up neck and neck. And as we're riding along with the 13, you just got to be so careful. You mentioned it, Billy. You cannot hit that apron, or else it sends you just really, really loose. I know some people will snap and send you up into that outside wall, so you got to be careful making that pass. But as we're watching, Ian Baker, that inside line is not working for him. He has lost already one spot. Looks like he's going to lose a second spot. So that middle to outside line already coming into this race.
Yep, as the rubber builds here, as we go forward here, yeah, that's what's going to happen here. You're going to get the grooves are going to change, especially around the racetrack, especially for the guys who are running high now. As the 8 car now, he's going to dump right back in and get in line with James there.
And James Catrone, already we've talked about him today. He's making moves. He did start 7th, but he's moved up to 4th. And this front half of the field is really racy, as we've seen. And him making that push and having this kind of performance would have to really speak volumes and give him a little bit of confidence, because that stage is going to end here in the next couple of laps. And he's just going to be one more point to the good to help him to a playoff push. So this is, as we watch the 8 of Ian Baker get into the wall of turn 4. So Billy, your Dover stripe striking again.
Yeah, there it is. And get a little loose there coming out of that turn. And that's going to get you all the time. And, you know, that's one thing you got to be careful about, especially here, getting that Dover stripe.
And looking back from the 8 car, we see the 53 of Robert Rader has the 8 in his sights, and he is looking for another spot. But one thing I've noticed, Ian is really relying on that inside line. It tends to help on corner entry, but corner exit, as we watch the 53 have a huge run coming out of 2 and go to the inside now. And he's gonna pinch him down really hard. Might have bumped defenders there. Man, this is some great racing action here at Dover.
Side-by-side racing for that position. And there goes the 53 of Robert Rader. Man, he's coming on strong. He started 16th and now puts himself in the 5th position tonight.
And as we're watching, the 56 of James Loveland takes advantage of that battle as well. Follows in the tire tracks of the 53 to make that pass on the 8. So Ian Baker having a rough restart, falling back from 3rd into 6th. Definitely a struggle for the 8s. And as these guys are going along, we're looking at the 21 of Christopher Heights. He's up there in the 8th position. He is looking to get some stage points. As we are on lap 30, at the conclusion of this lap, we will come to a stage end, and the top 10 drivers will get points.
Yeah, absolutely. And Eddie's still trying to fight. He's still trying to fight to try to get in there, trying to make that position. But now he's under pressure right there by, we have by Kevin Orlando there. But now we have caution out for the stage.
And definitely good racing there in the beginning of the stage, despite a couple of incidents. Jason Fensler in 1st, Mark Whitley in 2nd, and then Cedric Hunter in 3rd as they qualified. So Jason Fensler already working on the Freaky Fast, the Grand Slam, with James Catrone in 4th and Robert Rader wrapping out the 5th position. As these guys get lined up, we see James Loveland in 6th. He's good at Dover, and then Ian Baker having issues, falling back all the way to 7th. But these guys, they're going to go get some tires. We are going to go to a commercial break and watch these guys come back on the track. You guys stay right here with us. And we are back with the Underdog Racing League here at Dover. We have just concluded our stage 1 caution. We've had 2 cautions prior for incidents, and so it's been an exciting race already, and it's about to ramp up even further. Yes, your eyes do not deceive you. You are seeing the 5 and the 6 in the back of the field, our top 2 fastest cars so far of tonight. But as we are going, we have waved the green flag, and we have the 13 of Cedric Hunter looking at that clean air and loving it. Looks like behind him he has a car of Parker Johnston. I don't think a lot of these guys already using strategy to move around and move up in the pack, Billy. This is going to get interesting because we keep hitting on the tires. We just ended this stage. Stage 2 will end at lap 70. So these guys might not have taken tires. It's going to be interesting to see if they can preserve these tires for the rest of the stage.
Yeah, how about Mark and Mark in the back, and then Jason as well. These guys are going to be racing from the back of the track to gain themselves back up to the front where they were before. So going to be very interesting as we come here, as laps are going to go down here. We're on lap 38 of 120, and it's going to be quite interesting here for this second stage, which ends at lap 70 tonight.
And an update from our pit reporter, Zach Hall. The 6 and the 5 got caught for speeding on pit road. So these guys trying to gain every inch, every advantage that they can, and it ended up hurting them in the end. It just goes to prove how precise and just how focused all these guys need to be at all times. There really is no rest for these drivers on the track or on pit road.
No, and it's just like real life. It's real life racing here, especially with the video racing. You're gonna have to take your penalties just like real NASCAR drivers do. So, now they know for next time what they're gonna need to do, and able to avoid penalties. And that's one thing we didn't talk about tonight was, that could really kill you, especially early in the race or late in the race. So something to think about going forward tonight.
And also to think about, it's almost compounded because we have, we mentioned earlier the 2 cautions for incidents. We saw our previous championship winner of Trevor Earhart get taken out in a wreck that was no cause of his own. That could happen easily to both of these 2 drivers. So you just got to be careful, got to be focused, and make your way through the field as smoothly and easily as you can.
Yeah, so here they are. They're battling right now, and they're nose to tail. And now they're just going to have to wait to see what they could do through the field. So this is going to be a real hot watch here as the race continues, to see where these guys can they the poor choice of words here, can they rebattle from what they've occurred here.
And already they are moving up quite quickly up there, and 11th and 12th, it looks like. But as we're talking about this, there is a battle heating up for the 3rd position. James Loveland, Robert Rader, James Catrone, all battling for that 3rd spot. We mentioned earlier James Loveland being able to save those tires. Before the stage caution, we saw that 53 of Robert Rader make some moves and gain up there, but this 56 car is not the one to sleep on tonight. I think he has the long run speed, especially to get up there and win this race.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a great chance of doing that. So far, he's looking really good here, and hopefully he hits his marks, continues to do what he's doing. And hopefully long green flag pit stops for him tonight. Long green session.
And then definitely long green sessions helping him see the 38 of Catrone try and maybe make a pass on the 53 of Robert Rader. But we can move up just a little bit. We see the leader and the 2nd place car, the 8 of Ian Baker, start to kind of hunt down that 13. We noted earlier, right before the stage end, really, he was really struggling with that car. He whacked that outside wall just a little bit, but he must have gotten it fixed on pit road because he is not letting the 13 car out of the sight.
No, his car looks really good, and looks like maybe he needed some fresh tires there, and now, so far, he's looking good. The only thing is, can this car maintain those tires throughout the process, or will he have that same problem that he had later on in the first stage?
And looking back from Cedric Connor's car, he's been able to kind of hold that inside line and roll it just a bit better. And there he goes, Billy, on the apron, which you don't want to do. Oh, and there goes the 13 too. So treacherous. These corners, just the differentiation of the angle of the racing surface just really upsets these cars, and it just cannot put it into words. But both of these drivers really pushing hard on the inside line at the moment to try and make the track as short as possible.
Yeah, isn't that amazing how, your car can be so good, and then you go down and you touch a little bit of that apron and then it just throws you off. So, it's just a nasty thing here at Dover where you're going to have to experience, the shortness of the track and then, the corners. As you look at the 13 car, he's looking pretty good with his line right now. So, hitting that line, that's what you want to do. You want to hit all your spots so you can get fast around this racetrack.
Definitely, and don't look now are two arguably the fastest cars besides Cedric Hunter on the track. They started at the end of the line due to speeding penalty. This is the battle for sixth. They are making the pass on the 27 of Kevin Orlando Jr. coming out of 3. So, gets a little close there. The 27 coming down on the 5. That is right there. Looks like a 6th and 7th. So these guys not wasting any time marching back up towards the front. Remember, the caution for the next stage break will be at lap 70. So we're 19 laps away. These guys already up into the 6th and 7th positions. I cannot honestly believe it. I can't believe I'm saying that, but these guys are super fast right now.
Super fast indeed. Maybe they got the charge award because they're charging to the front. They are on a mission here tonight, trying to recover from that pit penalty that they had here tonight. As we take a look at Kevin Orlando's line, he's just trying to go high, trying to stick it with there and try to hit his marks. And it's just when you see the race leader in front of you, oh, we got a freaky fast broadcast review here.
And as we were talking, there was a caution coming out for incident here on lap 51, and looks like that
Ooh.
outside wall, the 26 getting kind of pushed up there, the 99 of Dylan Walterman just getting caught up, and that's the 26 of. Man, I just don't have it, but that's the 99 as well, that getting caught up. Eddie Wildermuth, the 26, sorry. And he's actually been doing all right, staying in the top 10, but this caution helps the most is that 5 and 6 cars. They were waiting for something like this for the field to bunch up. They have the speed, they have the line to make time, and as we're watching it again, yeah, Eddie Wildermuth just gets kind of pushed up into that outside wall. We see the 4 of Blake Cook, and just absolute carnage on exit 4. Mentioned it's keeping this car under you is definitely causing some issues with some of these cars.
Yep, and there you go. And he got more than the Darlington, more than the Dover stripe there. Wow, you just saw his car go mid up in the air, the 26 car. I bet hopefully he's all right. He'll come down, do a quick repair, and get right back onto the racetrack. And wow, that's a big accident there for him.
Yeah, and that's, it's interesting. We've seen some single car spins, but it's been really contact heavy, and it seems to be at corner exit. That was 4 cars there. We saw 3 cars get into it in the beginning of the first stage. So, like we mentioned earlier, not a lot of space, and it's a really tight racetrack. This is our 5th caution of the night. So, our 3rd one for incident. This is going to be definitely fun as we get these guys racked up again and watch the drive of the 5 and the 6 cars get up there and weave through the rest of this traffic.
Interesting race here tonight for sure. Hopefully no speeding down pit road this time if they come down. They just got to get on their mission and prepare for lap 70 for their next pit stop. So should be a quite interesting race here as we continue to roll around this track here tonight with ultimate siding and gutters.
And with that, we are on lap 55. Looks like they are ready to roll lights out on the pace truck again. We are going to go green with 14 laps left in the stage. So far, the way this race has gone, really short sprints cut up by cautions, whether it be the stage or incidents. So we're going to see a lot of these guys. It's obviously favored the driving style of Mark Whitley and Jason Fensler tonight. We're going to see it gets harder the further up you get in the field because the drivers you catch get faster and faster. But I don't think I've seen anyone match the speed of those two cars. But as we are watching, we see the pace truck make the hard left. Green flag in the air. Cedric Hunter with a great start. Those four cars up front with great starts. Behind them, not so much. Mark Whitley getting a better start. Jason Fensler getting caught up behind some traffic, and they are still side by side fighting for that third position, the 56 and the 53.
Here they come again through the back stretch as Cedric Hunter with the big lead, followed by Ian Baker, James Loveland, and Robert Rader.
And ooh, that was so close right there on that corner exit. Once again, turn 4. Mark Whitley had the momentum, really had to let off the throttle to avoid getting into the bumper of James Loveland. And as we were watching, looks like some paint trading going on up there between the 56 and the 53. And the 6 is going to look to make a move on the 53, but the 53 closes the door on him coming out of the corner. So these guys know that in 12 laps the stage is going to end and they want more of those points, not giving an inch so far.
These guys are picking up the racing for sure as they know that the stage is coming to an end. Coming on down through the back stretch, still nose to tail, as now they're all broken out as Cedric Hunter there. He's got the lead and opened up with a 2 or 3 car like lead there. And now we got a race for pass position here.
And look there, there's a 6 going the inside of the 53, the 5 right behind him. These guys have been nose to tail the entire march through the field after that speeding penalty. But interesting fact here, Billy, last year there was only 1 caution for incident the entire race. This year we have 3, and we are just barely halfway through. We are on lap 60 of 120. We still have a lot of racing to go.
Yes, we do. And things are going to get heated up, especially towards the end of the stages. So it should be really interesting to see. It looks like Mark is hitting his lines very well. We got a race for the battle back here with the 94 and the 99 again. So these guys are battling 2 by 2.
And this is the battle for 10th, it looks like. These guys, there's Brad Ringer in the 76, Dylan Walterman in the 99, James Catrone in the 38. He's kind of fallen back these past couple of cautions. But, man, this is for that last point of the stage break. That just proves how important these points are. And here comes the 48 of Parker Johnston looking to get his name in the mix. But as we're watching, the 38 and the 99 really struggle coming out of that corner. 76 of Brad Ringer is going to take it, but the fight is not over. The 99 will not give up, makes the pass on the 38 of Catrone, has great exit speed, hopes to get up to the bumper of the 48 and make that pass on the outside.
Great race in there, as now even the 24 comes in the picture. So Nick is trying to race down that 15 car of John Manager. So yeah, so the battles are starting to heat, especially up in the back of the field.
John Magner there in the 15th car. He's just trying to kind of keep everything together at this point, and he hasn't had this speed. But interesting note there, Nick Alves, he isn't far out of the playoff picture either. He's in 10th, 130 points out, so he's just trying to keep his car kind of clean towards the end. With there being in 14th, it looks like not going to really capitalize on this stage break, but definitely trying to keep it clean and wanting to finish the race.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, just trying to be careful, trying to keep that machine on the track there, and coming up against traffic here. So yeah, just trying to keep it clean, try to stay behind, and try to stay where he is right now to and try not to make a mistake.
And as we're watching, this is the battle from second to third. There is Mark Whitley making the pass on James Loveland. Looks like Ian Baker able to hold on to that second spot for now, but with at lap 66, we are 4 laps to go until the end of this stage, and none of these guys really willing to give an inch. That's all take. These guys know how important these points are. As we're looking at Jason Fensler, he knows how important a couple points are dating back to last season. The 5 looking to make a pass on the 56, but as he's looking at that, the 99, Dylan Walterman goes around on the outside, ooh, and the 5 gets into that corner just a little bit, but they keep it straight, and we keep racing.
Racing is heating up here at Dover as we come to 3 laps to go until the stage ends. And boy, these boys are racing pretty hard to get up in that top spot here tonight.
And just like that, we can see out there in the front windshield of the 5, there was a pass for second place that goes to Mark Whitley. The 8 of Ian Baker really struggling to hold on to his car this late in the run. He has been in second nearly this entire stage, at least after this last caution, but now he cannot find the speed. Looks like he's gonna bounce off the wall again there, and he will fall all the way back to about 7th place. So not what he wants. It looks like 8th place now, so not what the 8 car wants right now. And right as we're watching, Jason Fensler, the wheelman himself, bouncing off that wall. These guys are really struggling this later on in the run.
So here we go, Carl, again, and this is where the 8 car, remember, he was dominant car, and then soon as his tires wore down, I told you before that it starts going away from him, and that time it really hurt him.
Definitely hurt him, and there's the 27, Kevin Orlando Jr. looking to make one more pass before the stage. We are on lap 70, so at the conclusion here, the yellow flag will wave, and more stage points will be rewarded out. And Kevin Orlando Jr. doing whatever he can to make that last pass. So he's doing everything he needs to do to make sure he can get whatever point he can. And there it is. There is the caution for stage break. Cedric Hunter dominating that stage due to the fact that Mark and Jason got caught with speeding. Dylan Walterman, what a push for him in 2nd place. Mark Whitley finishing 3rd. Parker Johnston 4th, and then James Loveland rounding out the 5th position. Jason Fensler fell back to 6th after some contact with the wall. Robert Rader, Ian Baker, Kevin Orlando Jr., and then John Magner being able to take that last spot of the stage. And so as these guys go down pit road again for some fuel and tires, we are going to take a quick break, and we will be back for more freaky fast action. and we are back green here at Dover International Speedway. Here we are watching the 13 of Cedric Hunter really dominate this latter part of the race. His most leading contenders of Mark Whitley and Jason Fencer were caught speeding early on, but Mark and both Jason have recovered nicely. As you see there, that number 6 car, that white number 6 car right there chasing down the 13. But Billy, this has been some really hard racing. We've seen a lot of incidents so far this year, and none of these guys are willing to give up anything. We've even seen our veterans tap that wall, so even our most grizzled drivers are really struggling.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those tricky tracks here that, these guys are going to have to deal with, especially going into next week at Pocono. You only have 3 turns. So, so tonight's been a struggle for some of these drivers here tonight. And you got to overcome it. And, this is where it is. You got like less than 50 laps to go here. And now it's your final push to get up to the top and make your mark. So I think we're going to see more exciting racing coming up.
Definitely a push, as we've been watching the 56 make some circuits on this track. The top 2 are bumper to bumper, really racing hard but racing clean. 56 dominated this race last season, can really hold the tires together. But as we're watching back here, there's the 5 in the 48 of Parker Johnston, the 8 of Ian Baker in that gaggle of cars. He's really he's fast in the beginning but can't seem to maintain the tires later on in the run, and that's what we keep talking about, is tires. And if we don't have any kind of incident breaks, this is going to be a 50 lap right now it's a 40 lap run to the end of the race, and their fuel wind is about 45 laps, so we may come to another fuel mileage race.
Yeah, and that would be really exciting, especially for us. We take a look at the 48 machine, Parker Johnson right there. He has gained, look at this, 12 spots since pit road. So he's doing really well here, trying to keep it up to the top as the 8 car just goes around him. So Ian Baker gets that position.
And then talking in front of Ian Baker, the 53 of Robert Rader there in the 6th position at the moment. He started 16th, so he's done a really good job moving his way and diving and maneuvering his way through this field as we watch the 5 get around Robert Rader and now trying to gap that. But these guys really pushing hard, even though there's 37 laps to go left in this race.
They know what's on the line, Carl. They know what's on the line. Right now, they're not leading the race, but, they got to get whatever they can and, just hit their marks and move forward here and try to get the best outcome that they can here tonight. So now we take a look at the 26 car who was involved in that accident previously, as they're doing side-by-side battle here right now.
And here we are, the 26 and the 15 of Magna are racing. And as we're talking here, the battle for the lead may be coming up to a 3-horse race. Is the 6 is shadowing the 13, but the 56 of James Loveland has been able to kind of creep up. We talked about how good he is saving tires, how he dominated last year, and there he is. They almost had about a full second gap on him, but he has closed that down to less than half a second. I don't think this race is going to be over by any means anytime soon, and right now James Loveland looking to play the long game.
Well, yeah, most definitely. These guys are going nose to tail now. Now the race leaders are going in here to 13 in the 6 car, challenging like they always do, and you see these guys battling for the lead. They go back and forth. And now he's trying to tuck into him. Look at this, the 6 car trying to get underneath the 13 car. He's going to make this. No, still Cedric Hunter still comes out on top coming into the turn right here and takes another lap here at the track.
And that move has been waiting and developing for about 3 laps. Just watching Whitley move around, you saw him kind of dip his nose down, making sure Cedric Hunter, look at him just attack and just assault that inside of the corner. But he just cannot carry the momentum on the high side, and that's why Cedric Hunter's been able to hold him off so far for a couple of corners. But here we are, side by side for the lead. First the 6, first then the 13, and only thing that the 56 56 can do of James Loveland. Just kind of watch and see if they can burn up their stuff before he does and maybe make a move later on in the run.
Here they come out of turn 4. It's still Cedric Connor with the lead. He's got the advantage by a nose and a half as he comes into turn 1. And now looks like Mark will jump right in back of him now. This time as the 13 car Cedric Connor makes the pass here to maintain the lead.
And as the Cedric Hunter maintains, but man, that 6 really wants the lead. But most important of all, there's Jason Fensler. Those the 3 cars in front of him have can fight and will fight for that lead. As you can see there out the passenger side windshield there, you see a little bit of damage on that right front fender. He did have an incident with the wall, kind of brushed it, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him in terms of performance, especially in this last couple laps alone. He's gained just a little over a quarter of a second.
Yeah, making his move, trying to get up towards the lead as we're still signal file going through the lead as they're trying to catch him. Fenzer doing a great job coming off that penalty here tonight that he suffered down pit road here early on tonight as we right back into turns 3 and 4, and it's all the same here with the top 4 together as the same positions.
And it's definitely interesting to see because Cedric Connor hasn't started all the races here. He's kind of a latecomer, but the races he has run, he's finished no lower than second. So he's definitely on the move to kind of take a chunk out of that points gap between Mark Whitley. But as we're looking now, we can see the 25 of Trevor Earhart, last year's champion. He's had a really, really rough night. He got caught up in an incident earlier, had to use that fast repair, but he's just trying to keep it together there in 9th and just make sure he can salvage whatever points he can towards the end of this race.
He's making a move, definitely, Carl. You want to he's gained 13 positions since that incident. So getting back on the track, trying to keep championship hopes in line, and that's what you got to do. You got to make a bad day into something that you can do better. So having worse times and now just getting back, hitting your marks, and try to, there's a long way for the championship until it ends.
Definitely, but here we go again. For the lead, Mark Whitley trying to make a move on the 13 again with that inside line. Oh, and he washes up the track just a little bit. Man, they are really, really racing clean, but it looks like there was a little bit of contact there between the fenders of the 13 and the 6, but still we stay green and stay straight. The 56, we can see behind the deck lid. The 56 is right there, not giving him an inch. So these guys, if they make a mistake, the 56 of James Loveland will be there to pounce. He led 96 of 100 laps last season. That is the 56 of James Loveland. So he knows how to get it done at this track. He's just waiting for his time, waiting for these guys to burn up their tires for him to capitalize.
Here we come again as we take it away. The 13 car comes down. He'll lead another lap here at Dover as he moves down. This is the Ultimate Siding and Gutters action video cam on the inside there for Mark. And coming around, and here he comes right back to the backstretch, and he opens up a little bit of the lengthy lead. Here is the 13 machine, but Mark catches him right back on the corner. But this time he'll lead another lap here at the Ultimate Siding Gutters Dover race tonight.
And we just saw the leaders cross the line. We are at lap 98. We have 23 laps to go. We know those 23 laps can, if you blink, they will be gone. But these guys just really, really racing hard. Oh, we see the 6 kind of wash up on the track there. That's beginning to tell me that those tires are not hanging on like he wants them to. He cannot attack the rear bumper of Cedric Hunter like he's been able to. But here we go. We see some lapped traffic through the field at the moment. They're trying to use tires and strategy to unlap themselves, but definitely lapped traffic can cause some major issues here later on in the run here at a track like Dover, as we see the 94 of Sean Hustetler definitely trying to get himself on the lap here, as it looks like he goes to make a nice clean pass. This will actually put him only 1 lap down instead of 2, so still more work for that 94, but the car in front of him seems to be the 77 of Grant Thorpe. Got caught up in a couple of incidents earlier as well, so these guys are going to have to contend with some left traffic from here on out.
Yeah, absolutely. Cedric looked at it and said, "Look, this guy's faster than me. I need to let him go." Uh, so just in case something happens there, he knows that he was the faster car, so we let him go. And now the 77 just moves out of the way. So some of these guys are great and smart, and move out of the way for the race leaders, especially with laps winding down here tonight.
Definitely, and as we see the battle for the lead kind of calm down, everyone's just really settling in for these last 18 laps. We're going to give a shout out to Advanced Sim Racing. They were founded in 2020. They are the fastest growing North American racing simulation chassis manufacturer, equipment retailer here in the US. They're owned and operated by passionate sim racers like you and me. They design and build the sturdiest and some of the most durable aluminum profile racing simulation cockpits available here. You can get, they use materials from US and Canada. They do great work and absolutely zero flex. We know that's not what we want to have in our sim rig. If you go ahead, check them out, use the code FreakyFast5, all spelled out, to get 5% off of your order. Advanced Sim Racing. Go ahead and check them out on Facebook or whatever social media platform you enjoy. But as we come back, we're seeing the 99 Dylan Walterman. He has had a solid night. He's been up in the top 5 all night long. He's gotten himself quite a few stage points considering. So definitely fun to watch, and of course he's fast. He is running the Freaky Fast paint scheme there, so shout out to Dylan Walterman. Oh, as we watch, he dodged a car coming across the start-finish line, and that was the 56 of James Loveland. What a shocker here at Dover.
Yeah, so can't wait for the replay here. But yeah, that's sad. He was doing really well, and just got into an incident. Here we go with the Freaky Fast broadcast replay.
And as we're riding along here, there's some lapped traffic, and there it is, lap traffic, the 84 of Cody Dorsey causing issues. Cody Dorsey was caught kind of in the middle of an incident in the first stage as well. Really unfortunate to have the lap car kind of take out a lead lap car, especially one as fast as James Loveland. So caution comes out at lap 105, 15 laps to go. I think we are right now 14 laps to go to the end of the race. So some of these guys going to stay out, some of them going to pit, but it looks like our leaders, Cedric Connor and Mark Whitley, going to pit for tires. Looks like the 5 as well. These guys know what's on the line. And again, like we've been seeing all night long, there have been that was probably the longest run of the night, but we've seen these get broken up with some small sprints, and we're going to see it again here, Billy. This is going to get really exciting.
Yeah, I definitely like it. It's Wednesday night racing at the local racetrack, right, where you see all these short little stints of racing. It's going to be fireworks here as we get ready to finish this one here tonight. And what more can you say? I mean, it's just sad news when you get bumped out or lost air from the outside car there. It looks like his car just, spun around with the loss of air there, and man, it's just tough. And I know that crew chief for the 56 car and the driver is a little upset right now.
And ladies and gentlemen, you watched it there. Mark Whitley, the number 6, making a pass on pit road for the lead, taking the lead away from the 13 of Cedric Connor. This is going to be interesting. Besides the start of the race, it seems, I guess Jason Fensler did have a couple of restarts, but Cedric Connor has led all these restarts. So having the 6 of Mark Whitley, this will really, really shake things up. when the green flag drops. We are at lap 107. We're about 13 laps to go in the race. These guys all know what's on the line. Not only do you get the 40 points for the race win, but you also get another point for leading a race or leading a lap, winning the race. So all these guys, all these little points are adding up for these drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where the race is going to be. This is where I think we're going to see less patience. We're going to see a little bit of aggressive racing coming in here. And this is where it's going to be a game changer.
And game changer or just a game rearranger. Mark Whitley in first, Cedric Hunter in second, Jason Fensler in third. They started almost the opposite. Jason Fensler started on the pole, Mark Whitley in second, and then Cedric Hunter in third. These guys they've been racing all night long. It's going to come down to about 10 laps in a green flag run for the winner to be decided.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to get exciting here. I can't wait for the next half of this race here. Ultimate Sighting and Underdog Racing, man. It's going to be a great night and a great finish here tonight.
It is always a great night with Underdog Racing, and as we kind of wind down this race, we've seen a lot of action. That was our fourth caution for incident. Remember last year, there was only one caution for incident last year, so this is definitely a little off. And then last year, again, James Loveland, the 56, led 96% of the laps. Right now, he was picked out. So this is going to be extreme. This is like night and day racing here. And these guys, we see the wave rounds go by. They go 2 by 2. And look at that on the outside third row, the 25 of Trevor Earhart's. This is about to get spicy, Billy.
Yeah, hopefully the 25 car can make it out of there, push up, and sneak a dub in there. Wouldn't that be cool, huh?
Oh, definitely. But we have the 99 of Dylan Walterman with the freaky fast paint scheme. We have the 53 of Robert Rader. We've been talking about a lot of these guys all night long. There's the 8 of Ian Baker. Oh, there's going to be no holds barred here. We are going, this is lap 109. So the lights on the pace truck are off, so we are going to go green here with exactly 10 laps to go. We have a 10-lap shootout at Dover to determine a race winner. So this is don't change your channel, don't go anywhere. This is gonna get really, really exciting as we see there Barney with their green flag, cars making their way out of turn 4. There we go, already the launch, green flag waving, Mark Whitley with a great launch, and then Jason Fensler the inside of Cedric Hunter, Dylan Walton on the outside going into turn 1. This is on
like Donkey Kong as they head through the backfield. And it continues as Mark is the leader, followed by Hunter, and then Robert Rader there coming into play. Look at these guys, 2 by 2 in the back after the race leader.
We kind of just barely saw the back bumper of the 99 of Walterman get into the wall, and we see the 5 Jason Fensler get right up to the bumper of Cedric Hunter, but not to be forgotten is Robert Rader right there on the outside of the 5 car. Oh, looks like the 5 car is going to wash up a little bit, and Jason's going to have to save it, but he gets it all under control. And down the front stretch, here we are. 8 to go, 9 to go. These guys are really racing hard, and there's the 8 of Ian Baker. He has been up front all day and just kind of got shuffled back later in the run. The 56 of James Loveland seems to be right there, so it doesn't look like he's lost too many spots, but he definitely is driving angry right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting more aggressive, trying to gain his spot back because he knew he's going to be upset because he's one of those top drivers here that happened and then a caution came out. So just real upsetting for him, but he's going to get right back on the ball and try to see what he can do to make it towards getting some more points here.
And there's the 48 of Parker Johnston in that 10th position. He started 19th. He has done really well for himself throughout this race. He's kept his car clean. Ooh, and as we're watching, we see a car hit the wall. Turn 4 has been nothing but trouble for all of these drivers. And that's the 76 of Brad Ringer. Brad Ringer hoping for a decent finish here for some points, but looks like he's going to keep falling back. He's going to lose 4, maybe 5 spots here as the 26 of Eddie Wildermuth comes in on the inside to make a pass.
Yeah, the 26 car, he had some big damage as Eddie got into the last involvement with his accident, but now he's trying to push his way forward, get that 26 machine a little bit better for points here. and they're battling back and forth, and it's pretty interesting right back here with the 26 car as well of Eddie. So Eddie's trying to come in there, try to hit his marks, and try to move forward here as he comes along the 76 machine of Brad Ringer.
And Brad Ringer into the wall. Oh wow, that was really close there. But oh, and as we are talking, there's a caution with 5 to go. Wow, another caution for instant. As we were just talking, we saw the 76 of Brad Ringer kind of bounce off the wall. I wonder if that had anything to do with this most recent caution.
Yeah. So, I mean, right there, I mean, here comes a freaky fast broadcast replay.
And yeah, like I'm talking, Brad Ringer into the wall. I sent Eddie Wildermuth into the inside, and then collected Blake Cook. Oh, and he just bounces off the wall again to the inside. Ah, that wall has just really taken its toll. And Miles, the monster, has got to be stuffed by now. He has just demolished so many cars so far this race. And correct me if I'm wrong, but we may actually get a green-white checkered. So this is going to be really interesting with our top three of Mark Whitley, Cedric Hunter, and Jason Fensler. But who knows? The 53 of Robert Rader in the outside second row could play the role of upset and totally change this race.
So interesting. And, you know, we're just talking about the 26 recovering, and then that happens with the 76, and then, you know, the 4, and then, and then he gets involved in the accident again. So maybe that was just a little bit of a broadcaster's jinx right there. But, man, it's sad to see. But, you know, here we go. We're going to have a great time with a green, white, checkered here. It's going to be exciting to get these guys double stacked, re-racked, and claim a champion here tonight at Dover.
And what's really more exciting is with that caution before this one, everyone came down, got tires, got fuel. So fuel's not going to be an issue. Tires no longer matter because you're racing for the win. Whatever you have, make sure you run it as hard as you can. And I think these guys are going to. So these guys, a lot of these drivers not wanting to let up at all. So this restart's going to be really critical. We saw how the 6 of Mark Whitley just kind of shot out of turn 4 there. And that's going to be, if he can do that again, that may guarantee his win, but you never know with the 13 and the 5 right behind him.
You never guarantee that win unless you come across that checkers here tonight, especially, man, the way this night is going to go. You know, the thing is, how many times are we going to see the restart here? You know, it's going to be really anxious to see, you know, is this going to be the green, white checkered, or are we going to go in extra overtime here tonight? So it's going to be quite interesting. And I think these guys are going to be, it's going to take it and send it in there and claim a victory here tonight.
And definitely interesting. We've seen some of the drivers. Most recently, we saw Jason Fensler send it on the inside, kind of wash up. So you got to be careful. That middle line seems to be the more dominant line. Can maintain the speed through the corner exit. So who really can prevail on the inside line? Maybe pull off that slide job. May have an edge here, but as we're watching, the lights come back on the pit truck. So you're going to go down and around for another circuit under caution.
Yep, and you know we got to make sure that we get that right and everybody ready. Restarts are going to be a key. If Mark could get a good restart here, then he might be able to get something done. If not, well, if you miss a shift or something like that, that could be unlucky, and we'll have to see here in another lap to find out if he gets that big restart and gets a big victory here tonight.
Oh, there you go, Billy, talking about luck. We've seen not a lot of luck out on the track so far for a lot of these drivers. Even remember the 6 and the 5 were caught in speeding. And what makes this even better, getting a report from Zach Hall, there is only one green-white checker. So we have one shot to get this done and finish under green. The next flag after the green flag will end the race. So we got to hope. A lot of these guys up front anyway hope that the later back of the pack really drives clean throughout this run.
Well, that's a big question of if there. So we'll see, man. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to another exciting lap here for the Underdog Racing, sponsored by Ultimate Siding and Gutters.
And this time, officially, the pit truck lights are out, so we are about to go green here, and they are really stacked on top of each other. Then away we go. There goes Mark Whitley. Looks like the 13 kind of spun his tires. You saw him get a little squirrely there, but there's the 5 of Jason Fensler trying. But man, that was such a great launch by Mark as they go into one, and Jason Fensler cutting off the 53 of Robert Rader for that 3rd position.
Here they come, nose to tail. I'm through the back stretch. It's the same way. Oh, we got a race for 3rd here. The 56 car in there as well. We're doing battle in the back. Now we look around. Here comes Loveland. Hopefully he could get going here. We got a side-by-side battle between the 53 and the 5 car Fencer.
And this is our freaky fast white flag. 1 lap to go. Mark Whitley leading the field after a caution. We have Cedric Connor in 2nd, and then Robert Rader making that pass around Jason Fenzer. But as I'm talking already, the checkered flag is out, and there is your winner, the 6 of Mark Whitley, recovering from a speeding penalty after the stage 1 caution. We see the 13 of Cedric Connor there in 2nd. He led the majority of that 2nd stage. So a really amazing race effort by both of those drivers, and the 53 of Robert Rader. We have talked about him all season long and just nothing but heartbreak, but here he is finishing here on the podium. Billy, that was a fantastic finish.
Absolutely, and he is probably jumping up for joy right now. Yes, he got on the podium for finishing 3rd here, but look, he started 16th. Wow, that is just truly amazing getting him as we see Mark doing some donuts.
Definitely awesome, and love to see the burnouts here on the Freaky Fast Broadcast Network. He's gonna burn it down because he definitely earned that one. Ladies and gentlemen, that was really, really great racing as always here by the Underdog Racing League. We will go for a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we will talk with our top 3 finishers, and we will start with Robert Rader, the 53. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. And welcome back to the Underdog Racing League, where we just watched 120 laps of just intense action. We saw the finish there, but right now we're going to talk to the 53 of Robert Rader, our third place finisher. Hey there, Robert. Congratulations on that third place finish. You started at 16th. How did you make that run through the field?
Oh man, I don't even know. It was gonna be hard to pass tonight, and it was. But I mean, really, we had top five speed, and I knew that. I just made the mistake of getting really loose off of turn four, my first lap in qualifying. So I knew it was gonna be an uphill battle, but I figured we'd get there eventually.
Yeah, so going into your how did you maintain your tires and keeping them fresh?
Well, that was really difficult because there's a lot of good guys in this league, and they know what they're doing with tire management as well. So it's a cat and mouse game with those guys. You want to stay ahead of them. You want to push hard enough to stay ahead of them, but you don't want to push any harder than you have to. And it does become real difficult. My general game plan was to take it pretty easy for the first 15, 20 laps, and then just give it hell and burn the tires off of it. And it seemed to work out pretty well for me.
And that's always good. Really, all you top three finishers came through the field at one point or the other. Poconos next week. That's going to be another really tricky track. Do you think you can do it again?
I hope so. It was nice to be up there with those guys where I feel like we should be. We've had some really interesting racetracks lately, some that aren't really in my wheelhouse too. So it'll be nice. Go to Pocono, see if we can follow it up, get another podium, talk to you guys again.
It would be great to talk to you too. But before we let you go, do you have anyone you want to make a shout out tonight?
Oh, just the standard stuff. Family. Big shout out to the blizzard happening outside right now. That's about it. You guys for putting on the broadcast. We always appreciate you.
All right. Well, congratulations, Robert, on your third place finish. Look forward to talking to you next week.
Yeah, well, we'll see you there.
Good luck, man.
That was the third place finisher, the driver of the 53, Robert Rader. But here is our second place finisher, Cedric Hunter. Cedric, how's it going? This is Carl and Billy in the booth. You had a really fast car. You dominated a lot of that second stage. What did you need there to catch the six of Whitley there at the end?
I needed a lap car not to wreck. That's what I needed. I guess it wouldn't have helped with the not catching him part. It would have helped with me winning the race. But unfortunate what happened. I had pace, pretty decent pace, I would say so throughout the race. Definitely third fastest throughout the race. Coming into it, I kind of expected to be third fastest, just with the expectations of running the Xfinity car, 60% fuel at this track. I was expecting it to be really tight, and that's exactly how it drove. It just you plowed on the right front and burnt it up, and it wouldn't turn for a lick. So not my typical driving style of this track. That's why I kind of assumed I would struggle a little bit, and fully expected a third place finish. But obviously caught a few breaks, got to the lead, was able to hold it off, and with dirty air and everything, I felt pretty comfortable about just being able to hold off the guys behind me coming to the end. And unfortunately, we got that incident and lost the lead. And from there, well, I wasn't the fastest driver, and you kind of, I guess, saw that once I got behind Mark. So good win to him. He deserved it, and good race, I guess, to everyone.
Well, how did you maintain your tires, through the stages tonight?
To be honest, I didn't. I burnt my right front off every single run. My tires. I know the last run that we had. I know my right front was about 80%, and my right rear was at about 90%. So kind of a 10% split on the on the on the tire wear there. So not what you like to see, especially considering I was running so much rear brake, trying to just burn the rears equally to the fronts and try and get that turnability. So even with all that, I still managed to get that 10% gap. And um, I think that just the fact that I got track position made it seem as though I didn't burn up by stuff, but that wasn't the case.
Well, that's really interesting to hear. But Cedric, another interesting thing: every race you've run, you've either been first or second. Pocono next week. Do we flip a coin on where you're going to finish?
Yeah, absolutely. I fully expect hopefully getting a top 10. Pocono is always one of those tracks for me that is kind of up in the air. I don't actually I shouldn't say I don't particularly love the track. I absolutely despise that track. It's not a place I enjoy running at, but I'll go in there and try and do the best that I can, and hopefully we can keep that streak of 1-2 finishes. But I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if if it ended here. So we'll see. Should be a fun race. Um, and yeah.
And Pocono's always fun. Looking forward to it. Before we let you go, Cedric, anyone you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to give a huge shout out to my teammates up on the box, helping me out, giving me laptop feedback and just information that I need. So you have Vincent Sora as well as Brandon Colley helping me out throughout the night. I want to give a shout out to Mark for winning the race. Getting the lucky break without an unfortunate incident. And I want to give a huge shout out to all the admins and the drivers that allow me to come here and race on a weekly basis, as well as you guys for always doing a wonderful job, and all the fans for tuning in and supporting the league as well as you guys. So, I also want to give a huge shout out to Steven Stimpian for painting my car this week. Finally got a Hello Kitty back on there. It feels good to be running in pink again.
Well, we definitely knew where you were, Cedric. You have a congratulations on that second place finish, and you have a good night, sir.
No, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Good luck, man.
That was the second place of Cedric Hunter. But right now, we are going to talk to our winner, the driver, the number 6 of Mark Whitley. Mark Whitley, it is Carl and Billy up here in the booth. You had a dominant car. You had that speeding penalty. How did you recover from that speeding penalty and then beating Cedric off pit road there at the end of that final pit stop?
Yeah, the speeding penalty, I figured me and Finsler, we were pretty even. It was going to be whoever could be out front would probably walk away a little bit because of the dirty air. Me and him were so even that I just got so busy trying to beat him off pit road that I wasn't paying attention, and I was going about 10 over the speed limit. So got the speeding penalty. Luckily, Finsler did too. So we both started at the back. Just kind of tried to be patient, pick our way through there whenever a spot opened up. We cut up top 10 pretty quickly, and then after that it was kind of slow pickings, but then eventually after that one caution we were able to get up there, and I got to second for like a little bit, and then the fresh tires came up there and I got passed for third. But it was just about on that last restart, it was just I knew that I had to get in front of Cedric because that run before, once we had fresh tires, I felt like I was faster, but he was able to park his car in the perfect lane, and I just couldn't get. I'd have to like lift, and I couldn't get the run off to get a run on him. So I knew it was going to be important to try to beat him off, and I was on the limit. I mean, speed limit's 35. I was going between 35 and 36 all the way down front straightaway, trying to just get as much as I could, and I kind of goosed a little bit before I got in my box and slid and had a perfect entry. And I was just, I guess I got to thank the virtual pit crew on that because that was a fast stop, and I was able to get out in front of them. And after that, we didn't really have that long of a run, and I figured I was faster, so I just tried to run away, and him and Finsler got racing, and I pulled out to a second lead, and I was hoping for it to just go green, but then there was that caution there. We had a green-white checkered. I felt pretty confident because I figured I could get a good jump, and as long as I got a good jump, I wouldn't have to worry about it too bad. I knew you just want to try to throw it in there because, going for the win, got to try something. I know in the last lap he threw a couple haymakers in there, and was hoping I was going to flinch, but I didn't flinch, so we were able to get away. I feel like this might be a teensy bit of redemption after the boneheaded stuff I've done the last 2 races on here, so can't hurt. Glad to finally get back into victory lane. It's nice to finally have something go my way here last week or so.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, your car was on fire, especially when you went down. You got that pit penalty, and both of you boys just bringing it and getting to the top. It was just amazing how you maintained your tires into then. Was there anything that you did, differently to get back up there?
Yeah, that first run, I was really just kind of rolling it into the corner, just not really just letting off and letting it coast in the corner. And I feel like it kind of burnt the right front up a little bit. Going through traffic, I tried trail braking a little bit where I used the brakes a little bit more, and it helped point the nose, and I could get a good run off. And I think it just helped that right front all together. So once I got up front, I just I kept trying that same tactic, and it seemed to work. So I feel like I was I was faster than Cedric throughout the whole run, so it wasn't like he was saving better tires. So it was just trying to get that nose pointed the right way. So I was probably using a little bit more brake than most people, but that's just helped to get the nose pointed where I can get a straight exit off the corner and get a good run. But so it's probably a good thing I went back to the field because I was able to figure that out going through the field, and I feel like it helped me out there at the end.
That's actually really fun to hear. You don't hear a lot about trail breaking, but Mark, we're going into Pocono next week. You're extending your lead. Do you race that track? Do you race anyone different, knowing you have that point lead, or is it just business as usual?
Well, if this was the playoffs, I have lots of bad experiences to work off of from last Sunday, but this is still the regular season. There's still a long time to go, so I'm not going to race it any differently. Um, Playoffs are they're around the corner, but they're still a good little ways off, so there's no need to take it too easy. I mean, I got a points lead now, but that doesn't really matter at this point in the season. It's just trying to get bonus points for the playoffs, get some wins, get some just consistent finishes, and just try to run up front and see what I can do. Pocono's normally been a good track for me here lately, so we'll see how it is. I haven't driven it in the Xfinity car here in a little while, so that's gonna be a little bit different. But I feel like we should have a pretty strong car there, and hopefully we can maybe go 2 in a row and be 2 different times going 2 in a row here in this league.
That would definitely be interesting and really fun to watch, like it was fun to watch tonight. But before we let you go, Mark, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Oh yeah, gotta give first and foremost big shout out Harpoon Designs. Doing all my paint schemes are always Brantley. He's always putting out some of the best artwork on iRacing, I think personally. Then you got to thank my other sponsor, Shop Angry Duck. They're the one-stop shop for all your racewear, custom racewear. All kinds of apparel and stuff you want to get. Check them out. ShopAngryDuck.com. They're got a cool store over there. Then got to thank my parents. Awesome parents and family. So there's just an awesome support group. Honestly, up until about yesterday, I was really down on the dumps, just kind of kicking myself for the stupid stuff I did Sunday and Saturday. But able to get over it, and now here in Victory Lane, feel like it's a little bit of redemption. So got to thank them, and also the league for putting on a great race. I've run here a number of times, and this is probably one of the cleanest races I've had. Most of the time, it's a caution fest because people can't keep it off the wall. But it seemed like we had a few cautions tonight, but it was for the most part it was clean and green. We had some good runs. And then final shout out to y'all guys putting on a great broadcast. Last couple broadcasts have kind of hurt me to go back and watch, but this one should be a little bit better for me to go back and watch. It's always fun to pass the time at work listening to this.
Well, that is great to hear, Mark. Thank you for coming and joining us. Congratulations on the win. You have a good night, sir.
You two guys, take it easy.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was our race winner of Mark Whitley. This was some really, really intense racing, as he brought up really caution-filled Billy. This is really interesting to watch some strategy play out, plus the fastest cars we've seen go through. Really fun and really just a blast to watch this race. But as we're going through here, the race was fun. We had a few cautions for instance, but as we go through the lineup, we're going to look at Mark Whitley, of course, your winner, Cedric Hunter in second, and then Robert Rader in third. Jason Fensler just barely missing a podium at fourth. Trevor Earhart with an early incident, recovering nicely, finishing fifth. James Loveland got caught up in an incident too, finishing sixth. Ian Baker had a really strong early run car, but just couldn't keep that speed later on in the run. Dylan Walterman finishing in eighth. Kevin Orlando Jr. finishing ninth. And then wrapping out the top 10, Parker Johnson, who actually started 19th, so he had a great run. But going through the rest of the field here, Christopher Heights, he started in 10th. We saw him as high as 5th. He fell back to 13th. Brad Ringer, he had a really rough night. He started 8th, finished 17th. So a lot of these guys having a couple of rough nights and just maybe not pulling it all together like they wish they wanted to. But Billy, any last thoughts before I head to Pocono next week?
Yeah, man, it was a great race for the top three guys. Trevor Earnhardt also had a great race as well. Recovering, especially when Mark and Fenzer was recovering from the pits. That was truly amazing to see these boys get to the top of the field. So it's really interesting, and looking forward to Pocono next weekend with 3 turns, because you can't find turn 4.
Pocono is always tricky to run at that triangle. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you at the same time, same place. We will go green at the same time Eastern. So from me, Carl, and Billy, we're going to send it up to Robert to close it out.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Billy. Well, Dover International Speedway, man, what a race. It's a tire-eating, monster-eating track, and it bit some guys, and it also ate up the tires, as you heard from what, Cedric was trying to do to get that car to turn without chewing up that front tire. So this is an awesome place to watch, and it's fun racing, and it was good racing here from these guys here tonight. But not only that, we have more action coming the rest of this week here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. As you can see here on Thursday nights, we'll be with the Stars and Stripes as we go to Phoenix. And we'll have Sam Dyer and Zach Hall calling all the action with that. So make sure you tune in at 9:20 Eastern for all that action. And then we finish off our normal regulation broadcasting with NISCC Cup Series on Saturday night at Kansas. And we'll be live there at 8:50 with Terry Radford and Sam Dyer calling all the action. But we do have, if you're still watching this or go back and watch this, we do got a special event coming up this Friday night at Daytona in 87 cars. So it's going to be interesting to see that with Stars and Stripes. It's a special event. It's a money prize race, and so make sure you come out and watch them battle for 100 laps around Daytona International Speedway with them wicked cars. Now, we here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting has never called a 87 race, so it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. So make sure you tune in Friday night at 9 o'clock if you're free, and see how that all goes. But that is our upcoming schedule here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. With that also being said, I want to give a shout out to the Underdog Racing League. Also, thank you to iRacing. Make sure you go over and check out iRacing.com for all your simulation racing needs, from dirt to road to NASCAR, to maybe make it as a pro in one of them divisions. But go over and check out iRacing.com, and you can sign up there and maybe get out on the track and battle these guys and show them what you have. But with that being said, we will catch everybody tomorrow night at 9:20 with the Stars and Stripes at Phoenix. But we want to say here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting, as always, God bless everybody. We love yous all. Peace out.